What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Hatoraid Live, Hatoraid Hour podcast. See, you guys are already active in the chat. So, got a good show for you guys. Got some special guests that I'll introduce here in a minute. But just a couple reminders. Let's have fun. Let's be kind to one another. Let's keep it G-rated. All right. So, let me get everybody here. What's going on, guys?
What's happening, fellas? Y'all be nice. You hear, Jordan?
Yeah, be nice.
Be nice to me. Nice to Jordan.
So I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves. You got everybody already knows who you are, but Ike, why don't you go ahead and go first? Shout out your channel. Let them know what your channel's about.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Ike, Easy HT Tech. That's their channel name. And just like Michael and Jordan, I am a guy who just loves home theater and likes to enjoy all the fun that comes along with it and the rabbit hole that home theater and all the fun leads to. So
Yeah, appreciate it. So yeah, go show him some love. Go check out his channel. We were talking at Mwave, and I think he said you've got what 20 videos pending.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of editing videos, so that kind of has just slowed me down. But I'm starting to get back to cranking them out. So look out for lots of fun videos to come out.
Cool, cool. And the man of the hour. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hey, guys. Michael Stevens, Youth Man. Just excited to be here, man. It was good connecting with you at CEDIA last year. And then again did you go to Audio Vice Live? I can't remember.
No, I did not.
Okay. So I've met you twice at events. So he came out to M-Wave, which we're going to be talking about tonight. So just super grateful for you, man. I love what you're doing on your channel. I love the positivity. I love what you bring to the home theater space, man. So definitely a pleasure to be here. Yeah. So Jordan's mic is low,
That's
and they're
low.
saying
Okay.
Ike's mic is real hot. Well, I guess yours is hot. I guess if you increase yours, Jordan, then I can turn down my volume.
How about now, guys? I might need to get closer to the mic.
Yeah, let us know in the chat how we're balanced.
How's mine now? Still
Is that
hot?
better?
How do we sound now, guys? Let us know in the comments. Yeah, so we got a good podcast for you guys. So basically this podcast is just going to be recapping M-Wave that we all went to courtesy of Still Up. Okay, give
Crank
me
yours up, man.
1 second.
So do you have that auto checked on your
Mm-mm.
in the
Is
settings?
mine still hot?
Okay, how about now?
I think you're good. You two sound fine. Jordan sounds low,
How about now?
only a bit.
Okay, I've got it up to 170 now. So I'm using the XLR mic, so that's probably why it's a little low.
He says crank that gain up a bit.
All right, I'm at 175. It's good?
All right.
Okay.
They said that's better. Cool, man.
All right. Appreciate you guys in the chat. All right, yeah. So basically, we're just gonna recap, M-Wave 2023. I'm sure Michael's gonna do that on his, live stream as well. But I invited the guys out to come and on the podcast. So appreciate you guys joining me. And we had a lot of fun, man. So I'm gonna let Michael tell a little bit about the show and how it got started, and then we can get into. I've got some videos. You may have seen some of this already if you haven't seen the first vlog video that I posted. I do have some other stuff that I was going to show, but it's actually going to be part of day 2, so I don't really want to show that yet. But for those of you that haven't seen the video, I can show some videos, and then I think Michael's got some pictures. So Mike, why don't you tell everybody about M-Wave?
Yeah. So M-Wave basically started last year. Ryan Charpentier and myself really just came up with an idea to create an event that home theater enthusiasts could come get some cool experiences. Number one, some home theater tours locally. The Kansas City group has some amazing guys. We got several of them in the chat right now from that area. And so there's a huge wealth of knowledge there. There's a huge wealth of just some really amazing setups. So we offered that. We also wanted to create at the event really some Dolby Atmos experiences. This year, we had like a general assembly in the morning, and I asked the folks, how many of you have never heard a home theater apart from your own. And about half of the people, half of the attendees said, I've never heard anybody else's system. It's just mine. And then I asked another question. I said, how many of you have never heard a Dolby Atmos system? And again, about half the hands went up. So we've got half of the population at Mwave that have never heard anybody else's home theater, and they've never experienced a Dolby Atmos theater. And so that's pretty much a lot of what the heartbeat of Mwave is. It's bringing home theater enthusiasts together for, just some fun, some fellowship, but we're going to experience some really cool things. We're going to experience some full Dolby Atmos system. We'll share some photos and videos here in just a little bit. We try to create a culture that really just fosters relationships. So many times in the past, I've gone to trade shows and different AV events. And when I go through them, I go room to room to room to room, and I hear some cool systems, but then I leave the event and I just never really connected with anybody. And one thing I want to try to bring to the community is this element of community, this element of brotherhood. It was pretty cool because this past week, I've hugged more dudes and ladies too, actually a lot of couples there, but I hugged more dudes than I have in a long, long time. And it was just so refreshing to just share this camaraderie, share this friendship. So it's more than just an event. It's really more than just subwoofers and speakers and comparisons. We compared projectors, speaker cables. We did a subwoofer comparison as well as a speaker comparison. And so, but we're just trying to create something different in the space. A lot of companies and organizations are doing a lot of 2-channel stuff with some home theater, and we're just trying to flip that script. I really want to focus on the home theater guys and girls out there, and let's just have some fun in the process.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, same thing. I've been to a couple shows. I was at CEDIA last year, and then I've been to quite a few shows this year, and it's the same thing. It's always 2-channel, and we talked about this at Mwave. It seems like these companies, they have some very good gear, very good speakers, but in the 2-channel rooms, it seems like these companies never really want to turn it up. And a lot of people were complaining because they were asking them to play certain material,
Yeah.
and they didn't really want to do it. So, a lot of people were like, why are they doing that? Is it because, they don't have confidence in their speakers? They don't want to expose their speakers? But here at Mwave, there is none of that. I know a lot of the rooms that were playing content, they were like, hey, if you got something we want us to play, we'll play it. If we have it or if you have it. So, Ike, what about you? What was your experience?
We had a company that tripped out the breakers at Mwave, and if you asked the chat to guess, they probably won't be able to guess
When was that?
what company tripped out the breaker. Like, if just guess. What company do you think had their speaker trip out the breakers in a convention center?
Yeah, let us know in the chat.
Let us know in the chat what you think. But that is how amazing Mwave was. And like CEDIA last year, I remember going to CEDIA and, we're doing a lot of the shooting and making videos and all of that. With Mwave, I was shooting videos, and at some point, I really felt like I was missing out on the fun. And I was like, you know what? I'm done shooting videos, man. I'm going to hang out.
Awesome.
That's how Mwave was, where even when you were doing work, you felt like you were really, really missing out on just the fun. So, yeah, it was a great experience.
Good, man.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing for me. I really saw how different Mwave is compared to other trade shows. Like CEDIA, something like that, that's mainly geared towards,
like custom integrators, dealers.
Right, custom integrators. And you basically kind of have to know someone to even get into that. It's not really open to the public. But this is completely different. Everyone was very warm and welcoming. And one of the biggest things that I enjoyed about Mwave was the community. I had so many people come up to me that were like, man, I watch your videos. Like, thank you. Keep doing the good work. And that feels really good as a content creator, to be able to have people come up to you and basically say that they enjoy your work. I'm always trying to improve, try to get better. I still have lots that I want to improve on. But I mean, that was awesome. People that I've never seen before. I recognize the names and once I see them, but to
Yeah.
be able to put a face with a name, that was really
Mm-hmm.
cool. So that was one of the best parts, and I'm sure you guys can attest to that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the people I got to interact with were just down to earth, amazing people, and it was a great opportunity to meet Formo and all those guys, and very down to earth people who just want to chit chat and to talk and just have fun. And I was surprised some of them even recognized me. I was like, oh, okay, So yeah, that was really great. You know, it's great
Yeah.
fun.
What's up, Brad? Brad's over there in the comments. Home theater gamer. So okay, so it looks like we got some comments coming in. Some people are saying it was JTR that tripped the breaker. Some
No,
people were saying it was
no JTR,
stereo integrity. Let's see.
no.
So JTR. Looks like everyone was like, has to be JTR.
I don't
No.
even think I heard. It definitely wasn't JTR because Jeff knew what he was bringing. He knew the horsepower, and he told us. He said, "Hey, I need to purchase additional power." And so we contacted the venue. We had dedicated circuits run additionally for him. So there definitely wasn't any. He knows his math. He knows his stuff. He knows how much power, how much draw his amplifiers and everything will take. All of the speakers on the the amps on the subwoofers. And so I doubt it was JTR. I didn't even hear about a breaker tripping. So that's interesting. So I'm learning something new tonight.
I didn't hear about it either. What
Yeah.
day was that?
Uh-oh. Somebody
It was-
figured it out. Was it that one?
Yeah,
SBS?
somebody who was there. The Williams had to be there.
Somebody says
It had to be.
SBS.
Yeah, it was FCS that tripped the breakers. Not once, I think about 3 times.
Right. Oh, wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't. And was that? Do you remember what day that was? Because I wasn't
that
there on
was
Sunday.
that was day one.
Hmm.
That was the yeah. That was no sorry, day two, Saturday.
Mhm.
And there was nothing else playing. The stereo integrities, the JJ House, none of that were playing
Yeah.
Interesting.
when it happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a testament to SBS. I mean, SBS is no slouch. We know that they got their start with subwoofers. So that's a pretty. Anywhere else that would probably suck, but that's pretty cool that they can say that they did that. So Michael Slocum says it was like seeing rock stars when you guys walked in. Appreciate that, man. I'm definitely not a rock star.
Just normal dudes, man.
Yep, just normal dudes.
I'm the same goober behind the camera as in front of it.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like I was talking to Michael about is that everybody's on a different journey. Some are starting their home theater. Some haven't started and want to start. Some are intermediate. Some have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the theater. But every single person that was there because we all share the same passion of home theater enthusiasts. So that's really cool. And you can't find that in any other show. You're going to have mixes of different types of people that are there for 2-channel, something like CES. There's all kinds of gear there. So to know that every single person there was there for the same thing is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, and it was great to see that a lot of the gears that we had there were actually affordable gears that regular people
Mm-hmm.
could afford. It wasn't something that, I'd take a look and like, oh, well, maybe in 2055 I might be able to get it. So that was, one of the really great sides of just the whole Mwave, and just tests were really amazing with amazing results. So yeah, it was good.
Cool. Now, Michael, I know we don't have to say all of them right now, but I know you said you had some stories, some really cool stories that you wanted to share.
No, it was super cool. Two of them that really stuck out is that I think it was either during registration on day one or maybe even day two, I had a gentleman come up to me, and the short version is he basically said, Michael, you don't realize how much your channel has meant to me. And he said a while back, he just made some really, really bad decisions, got involved in some really tough stuff, really dark time in his life, and turned his life around. And about that time, this was during the pandemic, he found my channel, and he just said that it was so uplifting and encouraging to him, and it just really helped him through that dark time. So that was cool. And then there was another gentleman. He was one of our VIP Platinums, and he brought me a letter, like an envelope. And on the back, it says, stated his name, and it says, do not open. Make sure that this only gets to the addressees. And I flip it over on the front, and it says to Michael, Ryan, Jonathan, and the rest of the Mwave crew. So I open it up and I start reading it, and she basically says, this probably isn't the type of letter that you were expecting, but my husband has been pouring, basically like giving of himself to me for the past, I don't know, she mentioned a couple years. He's been meeting all of my needs, taking care of my wants and desires. And she said for the past 2 years, he's been wanting to build his, dedicated theater room. And she said, I need you and Ryan and the rest of the crew to convince him this week to pull the trigger. And as I was reading that, man, I just kind of became kind of overwhelmed with emotion, because here you have a husband that is literally dedicating everything he has. He's sacrificing his own desires, his own wants for his theater to make sure he meets his wife's needs. And then on the other side, you got the wife that wants to make sure that she's meeting his need. And that was just a beautiful picture of what marriage is, what it should be. And we just don't see that a lot in society now. And so it was just super, super cool. I was so excited. But things like that, you hear different people just sharing their journey and how much other content creators have meant to them and the things that they've learned from that. And so it's just been a fun journey, just really, like I said, getting to know people. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we can have the coolest home theater in the world, but if we don't have people to share it with, then what does it really matter? And most of the time, our relationships are kind of online. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, our friendships in the home theater space, most of us don't know a lot of people around us that are into that. And so we resort to Facebook groups or Discord servers or forums and just build friendships that way. But they're almost like virtual friendships. We've never met each other. And so one thing we do on the name tag is we actually put your like AVS handle or your online handle, so that when people see that, they're like, dude, I've seen you all through the forums and I've never met you face to face. And again, we're just doing some things intentionally to bring people together, to help them to build kind of long lasting friendships and relationships. So,
Man, that is awesome.
yeah.
That is great. That's a really cool story. See, you're not going to get that anywhere else, man. You're not going to get that at CEDIA. You're not going to get that at CES, anywhere. So, what's up, Kyle? Kyle's in the chat. He says the card from that guy's wife, and I'm going to pull up this super chat. Hey, man, I greatly appreciate
Don's
that.
in the
Thank you
house.
very
What's
much.
up, buddy?
What's going on, Don? So Don
What's
says
up,
he had a
Don?
great time at Mwave. Nice meeting you, Jordan. Nice meeting you as well. Great meeting you in person, Ike, and catching back up with you, Michael. So
Yeah, Don's in the process of building his home theater. Don, we got to get with it, man. Let's get
awesome,
it done.
bro.
He's actually down in kind of like Southeast Florida. He's one of my patrons. And so he's been building his home theater. He's going to have a killer setup. But he's doing it all himself. And a lot of you guys in the chat, you may be doing the same thing. And so you're saving money by doing it yourself, but you got a full-time job, you got a family, maybe young kids. And so he's busting his butt trying to get that done. So I can't wait to do a home theater tour of his setup once he gets done.
That'll be nice. I look forward to seeing that. Andrew Russell, what's going on, Andrew? He says GSG had dual 18s and dual 21s there, but with subs, it's hard to test them when they're in different locations and people in different locations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Let me see. Man, I got to say, Youth Man draws a crowd. I can't keep up with these comments, man.
Honestly, this is a cool thought right here. So Joker says, people who say don't meet the guys that you look up to are wrong. Meet these guys. They treated me like family.
Oh,
we
man.
appreciate that, man.
That's awesome, dude.
You know,
Appreciate
I do my
it.
best to be. I do my best to be the same guy on camera, off camera, on a live stream, off a live stream. There's no persona I'm trying to meet. I'm just me. I don't know how to not be me, you know. And I can literally speak for every content creator that was there. Super approachable. I saw a lot of you guys meeting with them, hanging out with them. We did a VIP event with them, and you had a chance to get to know them as well. So, Life of Bliss is in the chat. Home Theater Gamers in the chat. So these guys are just down to earth people that are really excited about home theater and just sharing their passion on their channels as well.
Yep, definitely. That was definitely a highlight when you can meet, you know, people that subscribe to your channel. Like I said earlier, and they tell you how much they, just appreciate the content, or
Mhm.
that you've helped them in some way. And I know, Michael and I will attest, we appreciate you.
Yeah,
None of
100%.
this is possible without every single person on my channel, all the comments on Michael's channel, Ike's channel. So we really appreciate it.
Mhm.
Yep, and shout out to Eric Johnson and a couple of guys, that I didn't even know would recognize me or even know who I was, and walked up to me and like, "Hey, how you doing?" So it's always good to go out there and see that, the little work, however little it is, especially like for what I do, there are people out there who really appreciate it and just look forward to it. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Awesome. So yeah, Kyle says GSG was involved in the subwoofer comparison, but not really in a demo room type setting, hoping they will be there in a bigger capacity next year. Cool.
I tell you what, I want to give a shout out to Evan. Evan is like in all of our live streams. He's involved in Facebook groups. Evan is with Seymour AV and Seymour
Oh, cool.
Screen Excellence. They were a huge part of the original M-Wave, one of our founding vendors and founding, not maybe not partners, but just founding people that said, man, we believe in what you're doing. We want to be a big part of this. And so they've been behind us since day one. But just to see, Evan, either you don't have a life or you just really like hanging out with people. And I think it's the latter, to be honest with you. So, man, I appreciate his friendship. He'll text me and say hi to me and stuff. But just to see your involvement with your community and just the people around in this community, I think it's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. We got Chris, that home theater dude, in the chat. There's 12 people in here, dude. So I have to give a big shout out to Chris, because I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So he took me under his wing. And for those of you that don't know, we live about 30 minutes from each other.
Okay.
So you probably seen, me on his channel, him on mine. So he's helped me a lot. So appreciate you, Chris. Let's see here. I had a great time meeting everyone. Wife had fun too. Yeah, so that was interesting. Honestly, I guess it never really crossed my mind,
Mhm.
but I just didn't expect to see any women there. And
Yeah.
that's no slight against
Sure.
women. It's just, I mean, if you go and look at my channel
Yeah.
statistics, I think there's like 1% that's women
Yeah.
that are subscribed. So I don't know about you guys. Do you guys have a big female following on your channel?
No, it's like 1%. And some of that's my wife,
I was gonna say my wife doesn't even watch my videos.
Yeah, she's subscribed. She's my biggest fan, but she watches the least of my videos, I think. So,
Yeah, that's
so
really cool.
actually, to let you know, Chris, there's 148 people watching. So,
Get your facts right. So Evan says, "Hey, Mikey, thanks for all the help. It was great meeting you."
yeah, man.
Cool. So was there another story about a card from a guy's wife? I think Kyle had
So
said something about. Oh, that was the same one. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just super cool, man.
Let's see. I'm trying to go through these comments and see. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm starring some up at the top.
Okay, cool. I was impressed with the SVS system for under 10,000 system. It was really nice. So I've heard their systems many times, and I can attest to that. I actually didn't get to hear their system while I was there. I went in the room while nobody was there and filmed some B-roll, but that was I just didn't get a chance to go in there. But I can attest to that because their stuff sounds good. I have 2 of their subs in my home theater. So yeah. Anybody else get to hear SVS?
I actually did not. So there were probably, man, there's quite a few I didn't get to hear this year. And same thing last year. Last year I got to participate in very little because I'm so busy running around helping do the event, making sure everything's functioning right. Every once in a while you've got a vendor that, needs something. So you're over there helping them out, getting them set up and make sure they're taken care of. So, and then a lot of times you're spending just talking to people, just hanging out, getting to hear their story and, kind of understanding where they're at. So,
Yeah, I did get to listen to it, and it was really impressive. And you could see the reaction of the guys in the room who were there for some of the demos that they did. It was really impressive for the speakers that they brought. They didn't bring any of the towers. They had, I think it was just the primes that they had and the Atmos speakers, and a pair of the PB16s, I believe. So it was dialed in really good.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't get to see the a seminar. Is that what it was called? But a lot of people said that they actually found it very informative. I actually started watching it on YouTube. I need to finish it, but a lot of people said that they really found that information helpful. So that was cool that you. I had forgot that you had those little seminars going on too. I didn't get to attend any of them, but it sounds like people liked them a lot. So Mike says at Youth Man, any word on when the how do you say it? Is it YO
Just
remote?
YIO. Yeah, they
YIO
just
remote
spell it
2 is
out.
coming out.
Yeah, so I haven't heard a lot about that. I reached out to them probably it was a few weeks before Mwave. They're still trying to get it ready for shipment, so I think they're close. They just don't have like a set date. So I have no idea when or if I'll get one in for review, but really it's the only thing out there right now that I feel is a solid replacement or has the potential to be a solid replacement for the Harmony Elite. I reviewed a couple other remotes and they either don't have the functionality or their app is really, really just kind of wonky and not user friendly. And then some of them are just, they're buggy as I'll get out. So, but I'm hopeful for them because again, we really need something to replace it. I know even with my Harmony, it's okay, but when you swipe up and it goes, what do you want me to do? And then it starts moving. So used to a faster refresh rate.
Yeah, I still use my Harmony Elite. I am dreading the day when the battery dies.
Mhm.
That thing. So I got that basically as a beta tester. I got it for free, and it's still alive and kicking. To me, that's still the best remote, other than something like Control 4. But that's a whole
Yeah,
nother ballgame.
sure.
Andrew Russell says my favorite speakers were the Perlisten R5Ms. My girlfriend said I should get them and an NZ9.
Oh wow.
So, and just to add to that, and Michael, you can touch on this.
Hmm.
I don't know if everybody knows, but there was stuff there on sale. Like I know there was a
Yeah,
guy that bought an NZ7 or an NZ9, but yeah, there was people that
sure,
bought some stuff at a pretty discounted. So I don't know if you want to touch on
sure.
that.
And so part of that, I mean, a lot of vendors will send product for the show, and either they don't want to try to pack it up and send it back, and so they're willing to offer it at discounted prices. Pretty much most of the vendors, there was only a few that they use that same system from show to show to show to show. Some of them are like, man, if we can get it sold before we even get there, that would be amazing. And so a lot of those we were able to sell at the show for them, help them. Also, my business partner Ryan, he's a dealer for a lot of different brands, and so a lot of this we actually purchased. So prime example, we would have loved to have the brand new Clips RP 1600 SW. A lot of people wanted to know how do they perform. We were going to do a subwoofer comparison, and so they didn't send one, so we bought one. And so then we sell a show for a discounted price because it's used and it's demo. So you can't really sell it as brand new. Um, so yes, a lot of people got really really good deals on that. So, but yeah,
Someone bought a projector screen. No names though, but we know
yeah.
who that
Oh,
was.
you did? What you do, Mike?
It wasn't me.
Oh, okay. You made it sound
It
like it
was,
was you.
no, it wasn't me. It was
Okay,
shout
all
out
right,
to Chuck. It was Chuck. But
And this
nice.
did
the
he
screen,
drive or did they
I
ship that
think
to you?
they just shipped it to him.
Okay.
So
What
Yeah,
yeah, it
size
was
was
a
it?
good thing. Yeah, so there were a lot of things that one could easily just buy there for
yeah.
relatively good discounts. So
So Abe Froman says, "How did Eskindo do?" I don't think they were there, were they?
No, I reached out to Ascendo. They're doing a big show literally next month at Atlanta Home Theater, which I'll probably be attending. Um, I'm thinking they were at, I want to say they were at the one at Munich as well. So, but I'd love to get them there one day because I mean they're definitely making some waves, especially with the larger subwoofers, and so
Yeah, stay tuned to the channel. I might have some content on that
yeah.
here soon. So Brian says, "Thank you to every vendor at Mwave. They all went over and beyond to demo exactly the music I wanted to hear. I learned so much." So yeah, you're not gonna. There may be some vendors that will do that at like Exponent or something, but the
Mhm.
consensus that I heard from everybody at Exponent is that a lot of companies would turn down when people were asking like, "Hey, can you play this, rock track, or can you play this something?" They were like,
Mhm.
So you don't have any of that at Mwave. Let's see here. Some more comments. Chris, the home theater dude is selling his Eskendo if anyone wants it. So I'll put his information in the chat later if he wants to. Let's see. Is anyone surprised that Scott Newby bought one of the JTR subs? I don't think so.
It's awesome.
That's funny. Well, let's see. I got some videos that I want to show. So, well, actually, let's go ahead and talk about the Perlisten room. So, I know, Michael, you were pretty busy the whole time, but did you actually get to listen to it? I mean, you probably heard it before.
Yeah, I've heard. They flew me up to their showroom. Phenomenal speakers. We were in their showroom. Is basically almost like a warehouse. The front just looks like an office, but it's got huge ceilings, and we're talking 20 something feet, maybe even 25 feet. Big open room, and that opens up to the back. And they had two, think of their D210s. So it's a sealed configuration. That was, I don't know if they were prototypes, but they hadn't launched it or kind of announced it to the public yet. And those things absolutely rocked. And then they've got the larger D215S. So what they're doing in the space is truly, truly incredible. And the great thing, they back up their talk with data. And so you can go on their website, you can see the polar plots, you can see all the measurements, more than just frequency response, and really see how well they do. Their speakers, how do they measure on and off axis? So they post that everywhere. They're oh my goodness, I can't even think.
D212.
They are THX Dominus certified, and pretty much almost all of their speakers. I don't think all of the R series is, but basically all the S series is. So those guys really, really know what they're doing. Both Dan and Eric are just true geniuses in the space. And Dan, of course, he's been designing speakers and subwoofers for a long, long time for other brands. And so several years ago, he's like, you know what? Why don't we just build our own company and build our own products? And so that's kind of where Perlisten came in.
Cool. Yeah, I was talking to Eric at CES, and I was asking him about that because I was like, before Perlisten, I didn't even know THX Dominus even existed. And so I was asking him how they came about that. And he was like, we've basically, there was a need for a certain size room for these, subwoofers to be able to fill a certain size room. And from what he says is THX Dominus certification has actually, it's been around for a very, very long time, but no one really knew how to achieve it until Perlisten. So it was kind of interesting. But Ike, what about you? Did you get to hear the Perlisten room?
I did for a couple of minutes because I went and then I was shooting some videos, and it's classic Perlisten. What can anybody say? It's, if you've ever listened to those speakers, you just know that they're in a league of their own, and they sound great and look great. So it was good. I know they had some hiccups earlier on with the showroom, I think, that they were in, and I believe they had to move into another room. But yeah, it's classic Perlisten. Those are really great speakers.
Yeah, cool. So
Yeah, Ivan said he had a chance to hear them. I was blown away by the Perlisten, crispiness, clarity. Both of those were amazing. The subs were very impressive. So glad you got it. I want to give a shout out to Ivan as well. I believe it's the same guy. Ivan starts sending me text messages of video clips. And so it's on Thursday. I'm at the home theater tours. We're taking our VIP Gold and VIP Platinums to 4 different homes, kind of just doing a couple hour demos at various local home theaters. And Ivan starts sending me video clips. And I'm like, dude, these are amazing. They're like behind the scenes. Some of them he was talking, some of them he wasn't. And so I texted him back. I said, hey, man, can I use these and share them on social? He's like, absolutely. That's why I'm sending them to you. I said, well, keep talking. Like, let us know what you're seeing. Let us know what you're thinking. Dude, he did a killer job, man. It was really, really cool. So I'm grateful. I'm not even sure I got to upload all of those because where we're at, I didn't have a really great reception at the event, but I would get back to the event like on Friday, and I'm trying to edit on my phone, just upload some shorts and stuff. But Ivan, I appreciate you, man. That was awesome.
Cool. That's great, man. Let's see. Kyle says their room was excellent, very balanced, great base for that giant room. Well done. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what everybody was saying. You know, there was a couple people that said like, you know, they didn't care for it too much, but
Hmm.
I liked it. I mean, I've always thought Perlisten was good. I had never heard them in a home theater setup. It's always been 2 channel, and it's always been like this kind of like mellow music. So it was nice
Hmm.
to be able to hear that. And for those of you, which we're gonna get to here in a little bit, but Life of Bliss, his
Oh,
system was
sorry.
at Mwave. Oh no, you're good.
I
His
was
system
trying to
was at
star
Mwave.
one.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I appreciate you doing that for me too, because I can't keep up.
They're
It's
blowing through here, man.
But yeah. So Kyle, I've shot his room, got him on there. So his video is gonna post in the next video day 2, and I believe that's probably gonna post on Sunday around 1. So I got one quick voiceover that I need to do, and then I'll be done editing that, and I'll upload it,
Nice.
and then it'll be ready.
Yeah, I had to catch up on a bunch of emails today, and then I'm like, okay, tonight when we get done with this, I started editing one of the videos on the plane ride home. So I had about a 3-hour flight. And so tonight's going to be like, all right, let's finish this, add the B-roll, get that one knocked out. I'm going to do my best to try to get one out every day for the next, I don't know, 10 or 12 or 15 days, however many videos I've got. So
Nice. Yeah, and shout out to Brad because he was helping you with that, right? Shooting.
yes. Yeah, we actually hired 2 people. Brad, Home Theater Gamer, came and helped me with a lot of the interviews of the different rooms. And then I also hired another local guy. He's a wedding videographer. And so Benny came and he did a lot of photography. And then he also got just some cool B-roll shots. Even interviewed some people, which that was really cool. And even some of the brands that I didn't get a chance to get to, I found out later when I'm going through the footage on the plane, he actually captured that and interviewed them. So definitely a shout out to them because it's really, really tough trying to run an event and do content creation. And so last year I didn't have any. And so I knew that I needed help this year. And as this continues to grow, we went from 83 attendees the first year, last year. That was more like kind of a pilot program, just trying to figure out what does this thing even look like. A bunch of guys just getting together, doing some comparisons and just some fun things and some A/B testing. But this year, a lot of people said, Michael, last year was fun and it was cool and it was awesome. But this year, this was a legit show. And so we went from 83 attendees and 2 experience rooms to over 300 attendees and 13 experience rooms.
Wow.
And so next year, like our vision is we're really hoping to reach 1,000 attendees at the show. So we literally have already had 2 or 3 meetings while I was in Kansas City before, because I stayed like an extra 2 days or 3 days after the show to kind of get everything wrapped up, but also to make plans and preparations for next year, because we know as this thing grows, it's going to take a lot more effort and a lot more work and a lot more planning. So we want to, thanks, Jonathan. We'll see you later, buddy.
Appreciate it, Jonathan.
Jonathan's a good dude. He's got an incredible home theater too, man. He made a lot of upgrades like right before everybody got there. He was excited to share that. So
Yeah. Now, speaking about those rooms, why don't you tell everybody how big the square footage of those rooms?
sure. So each room was, I think, is about 1,500 square feet. So I'll tell you what, give me a second. I'm gonna go to, because I can
Not
tell
too,
you exactly. Here you go. So these rooms, most of them, we had 13 rooms, and the dimensions of the rooms were 28 feet wide, 48 feet long, and about 16-foot ceilings. So these are massive rooms. There were only 2 rooms that were a little bit smaller. They had about 10-foot ceilings. And so that's one thing that we're actually looking at right now. And we, before I left, we went and looked at, I think, 3 different hotels and convention centers to try to get an idea of, is there a better space? You know, last year we were at the Lead Center, and it was more of a performing arts center. And so you had this big, massive, basically a stage, like a performance stage. And we utilized that for our projector comparison and speaker comparison. And then we had 2 back rooms. One room we used just primarily for projector calibration. And so that room's pretty much off limits to the attendees. So we only had one room to do comparisons. And that's where we did the room correction or room EQ comparison. So we knew we outgrew that space in year 1, and we knew we wanted to get more brands on board. We wanted to do more comparisons. And so that's when we found the Kansas City Convention Center. So we moved there, beautiful space, but there's definitely little quirks there. Parking's pretty difficult at times. Um, the other thing was there's supposed to be food like everywhere, but in our little section, they had a little not a cafe, but like a convenience store, but it was typically closed. So maybe if you went way down somewhere, you could find drinks and snacks and food, but I just really, we didn't have it in our area. So it was one of those things that was, there's those challenges, and then the rooms are just massive. And so some of the rooms, you walk in and like JVC, they had the projector, they had a screen that had 2 speakers, and they have 1,500 square feet. So that's a lot, for them. So we're looking at some options to see, is there a better place? But one thing we're finding, it's some of these places are just astronomical. We got a quote today. It'll cost $90,000 to rent out the space that we need. So we're like, we're not even going to bring in 90,000. I mean, if we cross 75, I'm sorry, if we cross 1,000 attendees and maybe double or triple our vendors, then yeah, maybe. But to be able to do that, it's not happening. So we're going to have to just kind of grow slowly, as the business grows, as this event grows, and more people hear about it. But the good thing is, we've got a lot of resources this year. I took a lot of footage. I know you guys were filming and you were posting. And so we're really just excited about this. And, I've seen some comments come in that, that they just had an incredible time. I had so many people come up to me afterward just saying, Michael, thank you. Like, we needed this because we don't have anything like this. I mean, nowhere. So we're really just trying to kind of pave our own trail, and blaze our own trail in the home theater community. So Grand Pixel said, let's build a Mwave barn. So I'm not sure we can fit everybody in a barn.
Just to add to that, so 1,500 square foot,
That's
my
huge.
house, my whole living space, the floor plan is 1,444 square feet.
Mm,
So you had
yeah.
how many, 10, 12 rooms that were bigger than my house? That's insane.
Yeah.
So Abe says, what pre-pros were being used in each room? How many Trinovs and Storms? I'll let you answer that, Mike.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Oh, I
I
said
don't
I'll let
think
you
I saw
answer that
Trino.
because
Oh,
I know Storm was in most of them, but
Yeah, I don't think I
oh,
saw Trino. Was that Trino
I
there?
didn't
no.
either.
Yeah. Trinoff wasn't there. I think we had 3 Storm
Yeah.
processors. And so they came out in a big way. Storm brought 3 of them for us. Unfortunately, we had one of them that kind of got sick. We had to pull it out of the, I think the subwoofer and speaker comparison room. So that kind of ended a little bit early, but, um, so yeah, but definitely it. And the reason why we use Storm is because it gives us so much flexibility to be able to, for what we're doing, to be able to switch between things. You can easily turn stuff on and off. You just can't do that with an AVR.
True. So Kyle says, really appreciate you guys going around taking video of the event. It was super busy helping run. I was super busy helping run the room with SI, and I didn't get much content. Felt like I was running around all over the place.
Yeah. Kyle was a big help in Stereo Integrity's room. On his channel, he's actually been building he's got some not build threads, but I guess build videos of the GSG products and Stereo Integrity. And so, man, he brought a whole trailer full by himself to the show to help them out and to really just create just an awesome experience in their room. And so super grateful for you, brother. And he helped promote the event a ton on his channel. So Kyle, seriously, you know me, man. Anything I've taken, you are more than welcome to it. If you want to use it to make a video, do a voiceover, whatever, just hit me up. Even if there's just some specific things you want me to send you, but I'll be glad to share that with you. So
Yeah,
that's
I got to interview Kyle, so I
sweet.
should be making a
Same.
video of that soon. So
Yeah.
he was out there flexing those speakers, man. His setup is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's
I'm gonna
amazing.
talk about that in my next video. But for me, I think Stereo Integrity kind of stole the show for me. Like as far as the subwoofers, I mean,
Yeah.
they may not be THX Dominus rated, but man, that
Yeah.
room was thumping.
Yeah.
So I wanted to present, let's see, video file. So while we're talking about Perlisten, let me see which one this is. Okay, so that. So this is part of the. So I'm just gonna let this play, but let's see. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry about that. Let me get the right one. There we go. So this is one of their 2 channel rooms. They had their is that their 212s, D212s, or
Um,
210s?
I think it was it was the smaller ones. So I think that's their D210. I don't know if it's the S series. But yeah, they had 2 smaller ones there with and a 2 channel setup. Again, that was another room. I heard it as I would walk by, but I didn't get a chance to pop in there and check it out. But their speakers are gorgeous, man.
A lot of
Yes.
people say they don't like them. I like the way they
Dude,
look.
I think they're fantastic. I mean, if they look like every other body or every other speaker out there, then what good is that? So I mean,
Right.
they've got a really interesting front baffle, and a lot of that is not just cosmetic. I mean, they make it that way because of performance. You know, there's a reason behind that. Even when I was interviewing Eric at Perlisten headquarters, either a year or two ago when they first announced these, he was telling me how you see that little checkerboard pattern. It's kind of hard to see in that one, but on their drivers, it's like a little checkerboard. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that's pretty cool. That looks neat. And he's like, well, there's a reason why we do that. And it has to do with creating something that's real thin, real light, so it moves fast, but it's super rigid. You know, you don't want that cone to be bending because it's going to distort the sound. And so there's a reason why they build their speakers the way they do. Um, and I love the fact that, we were able to provide full Dolby Atmos systems. You can see here we've got trusses set up. So we went out and bought trusses for some of the rooms so that they could provide Dolby Atmos systems in their room. SVS already had their way of doing it. They go to trade shows, and when they set them up, they kind of set them up on these kind of like wooden platforms that kind of lean up against a wall and just angle their speakers down. But a room like this, Perlisten didn't have anything like that. So we, as a company, just said, hey, we'll go ahead and buy those. And so we bought them for the show. So we got them for next year. And then, of course, JTR, Jeff went to Axpona a couple years ago. I think it was before the pandemic, maybe a year or two. And he had already bought like this massive, I mean, his truss systems are really nice and high end, but he's also got really heavy speakers too, because he's rocking 10-inch drivers versus some smaller ones. So to be able to really provide a Dolby Atmos system is just phenomenal. What you're seeing in the back there, that's a Barco projector. I think it's about $120,000 projector. You've got
Yep.
the row one theater seats here. So this was one of the big rooms. So they had 5 different major brands in there: Perlisten, Storm Audio, Seymour,
Kaleidoscape.
Seymour Screen Excellence. They had Kaleidoscape. They had Row One. Who am I missing? Is that every? Oh, and Barco.
Barco. Yeah.
Bach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I have some video of that. I don't know if I have it in this one, but I have some video of that in my next video. That thing is like ridiculously huge. The lens on that thing is
It's like, yeah,
insane.
when he unscrewed it and pulled it out, it was huge.
So just to show you guys, this is what B-roll is like when you're shooting. So when you get a video,
Exactly.
it's all nice and cut, but
That's right.
this is just how it is when you go to shows. You're moving your camera around trying to get stuff. People are walking in front, so that's why it looks looks like this.
Yeah.
But when you guys see the video, it's all nice and cut and
Yeah.
tidy and stuff. But yeah, so this was a nice room. That was my first time
Mhm.
experiencing row one. I have, some Valencia theater seats, but those things were actually comfortable. And that was the first time that I sat down in a seat where the back is lowered. So you see
Flying,
that one
yeah.
in the middle, you can sit like that, but then you can also raise it up for neck support, and you can also lay it completely flat and then move the neck support up. So it's pretty cool. So that's that, and then there's just some video, some B-roll. So let me stop this. Okay. And then yeah, so I don't know, does anybody have any pictures or videos of that room that they want to share
For which one?
for Perlisten?
Let me look here.
I'm gonna go
Perlisten.
through some of these comments while you're doing that.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. I just been starring them. I'll look through. I've just got a handful of pictures.
Kyle, can't wait to see what you think of the 18
Yep,
SIs
I
you're
got one of.
building the enclosure. Okay, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
got a couple of Perlisten.
Go ahead, man.
So these are going to be kind of, let's see, can I do that? Nope. So I won't be able to see what you guys are seeing.
So right now I see JTR.
Okay, so I'll just be on that screen. So this is just a wide shot of JTR. So they brought a 9.4.6. So he has 9 towers. Those were the, I think, 212 RT towers. So they have dual 12-inch. He brought 4 JTR Captivator 4000 ULF. So those are dual 18s. So there's 4 of those with a 4,000 watt amplifier in each one. And he may have even brought us the ones with a 6,000 watt amp. And then up top, you've got, I think those are the 110s. They're not the slant versions, but they're 10-inch coaxial drivers.
Crazy.
So that was a big, massive room there. You can just kind of see the scale of that. This is one of the stereo integrity subwoofers, 24 inches. Scott has a cool channel, man. I was watching. If you haven't seen him, he's in the chat. I've got to find him here. Let me pop one of his. If you see Scott in here.
Scott, yeah, I actually got to meet him too.
Yeah.
So really cool
awesome
dude. And he's got a channel too. I subscribe to it, so go check that out.
Yeah, I'm trying to find Scott. Drop a comment real quick. It'd be easier.
I just posted it now.
Okay.
Oh, you already did? Oh, here we go. SC Audio. So
There
yeah,
it
it was hilarious, man. So he sent some really funny stuff. He just does some creative stuff, man. He's like, he does this, not split personality, but he has 2 people in the video and it's him both times. One's wearing kind of a wig, and it's just, his creativity is really cool. I told him, keep it up, man. Here's one of our attendees right next to the, is that the 21-inch? I think, or is that an 18?
I thought that was a 24 also, but it could be 21. Kyle?
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. Kyle, let us know in the chat. I don't remember if that's a small one or, anyway, still big. So here's, this is Scott Newby. So Newby has, I think, 18 18s in his room.
That's
I think he has 9 of those JTR Captivators. It's nuts. I'm flying up there in about a month, 6 weeks. So he's doing a big get together at his home, and he's crossed 150 dB in his room. And it's not insane, a big room. Yeah.
So Kyle said it was a 24.
It's 24. Okay, cool. It's weird. It looks small in that picture. You know, may have been using a wide angle. So these are the Martin Logan, their new Motion, I guess F200 Motion XT. I've got those in for review. Beautiful sounding speaker. I went in here and they had just these 2 speakers playing. They've got the, is that the Anthem? Yeah, Anthem amp and
STR
probably a
amplifier.
Yeah, preamp back there. Probably running Tidal. They sounded phenomenal, like really, really good. The sound literally wrapped around my head, almost like they had surround speakers. And I looked around just to make sure, but there was definitely nothing in there, just those 2 playing. So just big sound. And remember, these are massive rooms. This room did have the 10-foot ceiling, so that helped them out a little bit. But it was a good amount of bass, even in that massive room with those 6 8-inch woofers. And then you've got just that dedicated mid-range, which I think really is what that series allows them to really just shine, because I remember reviewing the 60 XTI speakers and they were just gorgeous, man. The mid-range on them, having that 3-way design, and they've got the folded motion tweeters are just super, super cool. So here's the Perlisten room. So you can see a wide angle of this. I believe they were running a, Evan, let me know in the chat. I think this was like a 183-inch diagonal screen. If I remember correctly, it was a big screen. Beautiful screen. So from Seymour Screen Excellence. And we've got the Perlisten the S series on the bed layer. I believe they were rocking 3 towers behind that. The S7Ts back there. Actually, no. I think there was 2 towers and they had their horizontal center, I think. So then they had 2 side surrounds, 2 rear surrounds, and then 4 Atmos speakers overhead. And then here's just a shot of the other direction with some folks doing demos in there. Another stereo integrity. This is the one that Kyle just replaced. He had the originals, and so they just started. They're basically replacing that series with carbon fiber, and they just look gorgeous. Here's another one with some custom cabinets from, I think, Deep Sea Sound. Here's the back of the Martin Logan. So the Nihilist they didn't unveil until maybe what, day 2 or day 3.
So yeah, real quick on that. Every time I went in there, of course I went in there before the show, so I
Right,
didn't
yeah.
expect them. But
They were
every
covered
time I
up.
went in there, they were covered up. And the only time I saw them when they were uncovered
Yeah.
was Saturday. Literally, I was about to leave to go back to my Airbnb,
Yep.
and I was like, you know what? Let me go look. And I looked inside, and I'm like, oh, they're uncovered, but the room
Yeah.
is locked.
Oh
Oh,
wow. Okay.
really?
So I was like,
Yeah.
man,
So,
it was
so they're
it was after 5. So
yeah, and I talked to Corey, and originally they just had the Martin Logan, the small ones, the F200s, and he basically said, "Yeah, we're gonna kind of slowly unveil them, basically." But I don't know, maybe they should just kept them out all the time. But that was a decision that they made in their room. Here's a shot of one with the grills on and with the grills off. So I really like that white gray combination. I just think they look really, really sleek. So this is some of the home theater tours that we were in. This is in Sheldon's room. So Sheldon just has an incredible JBL. So you can see he's got line arrays in the back for the rear surrounds, side surrounds. He has the new JVC. I think he had the NZ. I want to say NZ7, and then to the left of that is I think he had the Epson, maybe 5040 UB, I believe. And that image looked gorgeous. And I even asked him, I said, Sheldon, I said, did you do any calibration? And he said, no, this is out of the box settings. I was like, dang, man. Chris Majestic in the back on the right there. We just had a great time with these guys. And so part of what we do at Mwave is the VIP Gold and the VIP Platinum get access to some of these local home theaters. And so we're kind of talking with some guys to see if there's a way that we can brainstorm to kind of open that up to more people. The hardest thing is you physically can't put like 20 people in here. It's uncomfortable. It just doesn't work, and you're having to rotate so much. So really, for the most part, you need to just have however many theater seats they have. So Sheldon's got 4 there, 3 in the back, so he can do 7 at a time. So we're looking at some opportunities and maybe some creative ways to get more people access to those. So there's just another shot there.
and Crow
This
this
is
in the
a
chat. Sorry, I
okay, cool, man.
got to meet
Hey,
him at
Croston.
Mwave. So what's up, man?
Yep. Paul's a great dude. So this is a shot of the front of his room. So he has a lot of these guys in Kansas City, they use velvet. So you can see up in the front, he's got black velvet on the ceiling, on the side walls, and that really, really enhances the contrast on that image. So you don't have any light reflections. So that's, if you can do that, that's a great thing. This was in Jonathan. He had to leave earlier. Jonathan Von England. He's a great, great dude. I've stayed with him. I did the Kansas City home theater tour, I guess last year maybe, and had a chance to stay with him for a couple of days. And we filmed 9 home theater tours in 3 days, I think. But these were the Arendelle 1723
I think
monitors.
Are those the 1723 or the S?
I think they said they're sending the, well, I don't know the difference. I'm really new to theirs because I haven't reviewed any of them.
So the
I think they're from the 1723. Yeah, they are. They're huge.
Okay, yeah, I have
they're
the S.
huge and
Those
heavy.
I can't tell from the picture, but
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
both
these-
of them are huge.
Yeah. Okay. So it could be the S. I'm not sure, but it's the 1723 series. And then you can't see it down on the floor. No, actually, that's his subwoofer. They sent us another one to the show.
Okay.
So there's that. Here's another shot of Jonathan's theater. So you can see he's got JBL speakers, line arrays for everything. He's got all of his bed layers as line arrays. He's got 4. Actually, now he's installed 6 Dolby Atmos speakers, or speakers as height speakers and Dolby Atmos speakers. So that was really, really great there. He's got 8 18s in his room. There's 5 up front, and then there are 3 right behind. There's one behind Chris Majestic, one behind Mark in the middle, and then one behind Chuck on the left, along those front row of seats. So having a 18-inch near field subwoofer, man, it's phenomenal. So great.
What did you think
setup
about
there.
those seats? Because those are new, right?
Yeah, so he just got these. He bought them from, is it Alibaba, I think? And so it took him a couple of months. And at first he was kind of getting worried, like, man, are they gonna You know, are they not going to ship them? Is this a scam? But it wasn't. And that's Jonathan standing up over there. Just super humble dude. Like I said, he's on our live stream every week and just brings so much knowledge to these folks that were here. He answered a lot of questions that they had, and just really sharing about his journey in the home theater space. He's super active on the AVS forum. Username is Archaea, but just got an incredible system there. So here you can see the 5 subwoofers up front in his room. They're on the bottom. Those are, I want to say, Dayton Ultimax 18s. So they're sealed enclosures. So he's got 5 up front and 3 in the back. And then, so this is, again, just another shot, just kind of further back. We listen to a lot of music as well as home theater. And then this was in Grant's home theater. So this was a full JTR system. So he's got 3 LCRs behind the screen. Again, black velvet. You can see a lot of these guys do that. And just a super, super great room there. So we got Brian on the left there and Ryan in the middle. Let's see. So this is the rear of his room. So not a big room, but this is a really well designed room inside of a room. I mean, he did all the acoustic properties like you're supposed to do, trying to isolate it. And one thing Grant will tell you, he's the gentleman standing up, is part of the reason you want to isolate your room, yes, is so the sound doesn't get out to the rest of the house and disturb family, but it's also to prevent sound from coming in. So if his kids are upstairs walking on the second floor above you, or they're running or jumping, you don't want to be in the middle of the movie and hear that, because it then takes you out of the movie experience. And so that's one of the purposes there.
He's got a beautiful room.
He does. Like I said, it's just acoustically very, very well treated. You can see in the back, he's got I think he has the NZ7 as well from JVC, and that's sitting behind a glass. And so his room, you walk in, he's got a big, big, thick door. And when you shut that door, man, you can just feel it's like suck, it's like a vacuum almost. Yeah. And then having the projector and his equipment outside the room, you can see the guy in the back with the Jurassic Park. So right behind him is a door that opens up to that back room to access all of his equipment, his processor. He's got the AVM 10 from Marantz. And then, like I said,
does he have JTR for his Atmos as well?
He does. Yeah, those are, I don't think they're the one. I don't know if they're the 110 slants or if he had the older 8-inch slants, but basically they're just angled speakers, just like what I've got. But I think he's got the smaller 8-inch. He's got some GIK panels on the top, and then I think he's got a lot of custom panels and throughout the rest of the room. So here's Ryan Charpentier, my business partner. This is his room. He's got the NZ9, all Martin Logan electrostats. You can see 2 in the back. To the right of Chris Majestic is a Captivator Captivator 4000 ULF vertical. So that's those dual 18s.
That thing is huge.
Yeah, it is. So, and it's called tall because it's just tall.
It looks like a refrigerator.
Yeah. So instead of being deep and shorter, it's tall. So Jeff makes a couple variations of the 4000 ULF. So to the left of Mark, he's standing up on the back left. There's another Captivator tall. And then in between, kind of in front of Mark and Chris Majestic, down on the floor is a 4000 ULF sofa table. So it's laid horizontal behind the couch. So you have dual 18s for near field subwoofers behind these guys. And that's Ryan on the far right. And then if we were to look in the front of the room, which I don't have a picture of, there are 2 more JTR Captivator 4000 ULFs on the side, kind of built into the walls. So he's got 5 of those in his room, which is insane. Goodness. I think he's got butt kickers in the seats. NZ9, just really, really high-end setup, beautiful Martin Logan sound. But yeah, so they had a chance to experience that. And then here's a shot of the TV comparison. So FOMO and Brian did an amazing job. Brian's channel is Brian's, I've always known him as Whisper Status. What's
it's Brian's Tech Therapy, and then I think he still has it on his YouTube channel in parentheses.
Yeah, it's like both. So I think he's trying to kind of rebrand to Brian's Tech Therapy, but he leaves Whisper Status on there. But FOMO and him did several live streams. And on the Midwest AV Experience website, if you go up to the top and go to videos, you can click on that. And I'm starting to kind of put all of these videos. So if you guys make any content, let me know. I'll be glad to post it on that website and that page so that everybody can see all of those in one spot. And then I'll also, of course, be sharing them on my platform as well. But they had 4 TVs, a big TV to the right. We had one TV crap out on us. They said, I don't know what happened. It just died on us. And they tried to give it CPR, but it didn't work. But you were able to go in there and just see. And I think what Brian was saying, and I'm not real big on the TV world because I've always had a projector. One of the least inexpensive TVs was one of the winners, like not winners, but people were going, man, I love this one. And he's like, well, that one's the cheap one. That's not the OLED. And they're like, what? And so it's amazing when you take the bias out of it and you don't know what you're looking at. That's one of the things that we try to do with Mwave is do our best to, remove the, let me think, I'll say it this way. When you know that you're switching from this to this, let's say it's a speaker cable, your brain can actually tell you you're hearing something that maybe you're not. When you're listening to 2 speakers and you switch between speakers, maybe the second speaker is twice the amount of the first speaker. So your brain tells me I should hear, something more magical because it's a more expensive speaker, and that may not be the case. And so what we try to do at Mwave is provide side-by-side comparisons without you knowing what we're comparing. So some of the questions tonight was, was there a projector comparison? Yes. So we put 250-inch screens provided by Seymour. Again, super grateful for them. Seymour was all over Mwave. It was awesome. They were pretty much in all the rooms. And we're able to put 2 projectors side by side, play some content, and then just have a discussion. What did you see? What were the differences? Maybe you saw one projector had better black levels, one had better detail or contrast or better shadow detail, or maybe the one was blown out in the highlights. And so you're able to compare these, and then we have a discussion, and then we say, oh, by the way, the right one is this, the left one is this. And sometimes you're like, holy cow, I didn't know that. And we do that with speakers. We do it with speaker wires. That was a pretty interesting one too. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go see that.
So I didn't get a chance to see that, and I actually didn't know that was going on. But I think they had like coat hangers or something, or
yeah, I have it live on tape, live on camera.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Look,
that's
I recorded everything.
I can't wait to see it.
Yes, I think.
So you were there, Ike. What went down in that room?
It was just a bunch of, I guess, behind the scenes speaker wire cables, right?
Okay.
And then asking the room, what cable do you think?
Mm-hmm.
What options are available? And then finally, this hanger cable comes out, and that's like the one everybody was voting for as the best.
That's
sounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And that was really consistent too. So we had, I think there was, I don't know how expensive, but let's just say several $1,000 cables, or really, really, really thick cables.
Yep.
Huge. It looked like it had a battery in it or something. So it looked really nice, a really thick gauge. Then there was a little bit less. Let's say that one was a couple of $100. Then there was a little bit less, smaller cable. Maybe that was, say, a $50 cable. And then they threw in this coat hanger, and they literally took a coat hanger, connected it to a speaker, connected it to the AVR, and they just let people listen to it. And they said, okay, what do you like better? And they said there were 2 of them that were at the top, and it was the coat hanger and one more, and one more I don't think was that big massive one either. So
there was no noticeable distortion. There wasn't any butterflies or chocolatey feeling based on it was just
chocolate feeling,
99-cent hanger from
Target
or something. So, and I think that
Yeah.
kind of leads me to what my biggest outtake was from Mwave is
Yeah.
if a lot of people get the opportunity to actually listen or
Yeah.
view or test out uh, the gears that they want to invest in,
hmm
people might actually make a lot different decisions than they think they would make. Like even for the TV shootout, right? If I'm not a betting man, but I could have bet that one particular TV brand was a Sony OLED,
hmm
and I literally had to go take a look,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't believe it, and I was chatting with FOMO. I was like, "You're gonna have to if I." Could compare these two TVs, there's a huge chance that based on the price difference, I
Yeah.
might not buy that other more expensive one. It didn't
hmm
make any sense.
Yeah.
So I think that was something that it was just great to see, even for the projectors, right?
Yeah.
The projectors and even the blind speaker test that we did, and the results were everyone was shocked with what they voted to be the top three speakers.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was good. So, I think that's a big outtake. Before you invest in any gear or whatever, try to listen to it or take a look at it if you can, and take a look at other alternatives, and you might be surprised at the decision that you end up making.
Yeah, for sure. And that's really what we want to do. And again, we're not awarding trophies. It's not about that. It's not trying to necessarily put two brands head to head to see who's going to be the victor, the king of the hill. It's literally to create experiences that you can't get anywhere else. And again, most of the time we have to provide our own speakers, or like I said, we bought and brought some of the speakers and subwoofers that we compared, because sometimes brands don't want to go head to head, but again, that's just what we like to do. you know I mean, I would have no problem, and even in the chat, um putting different speaker I'm sorry screens. What does this brand look like next to this brand? Are there any differences? um, so we just want to provide those types of experiences for folks, because the reality is, like I said, most of the AV shops in my area, they've closed down. You don't have the ability to go and listen to different brands and speakers, especially in the same room. Usually you have to go to room and then go to another room. And I know we like to think that our audible memory is really, really good and we can remember something that we heard 2 months ago, but that's simply not possible. Our audible memory, some people suggest that our audible memory is about 4 seconds. So unless you can do fast switching to be able to go from this to this almost immediately and then back and forth, it's going to be impossible for your brain to go, okay, I heard this and this. And then when you switch to this is what I heard. So that's really what we try to do with these comparisons, is just to equip you with the knowledge and the experience so that you can make the decision on what's best for you. Because just because something is the quote winner doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to fit everybody's needs and budgets, because there's no perfect speaker, there's no perfect processor, there's no perfect subwoofer, but sometimes there is a perfect speaker, processor, or subwoofer for you and your needs. And that's really just what we're trying to provide at Mwave.
Yep. You will definitely get all of that and some. So Jed asked, I'll let you answer that one. Michael, was there a projector comparison this year? I'm gonna queue up one of these videos.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So again, I didn't get a chance to go in there this year. Nick and Andy were our two calibrators in that room. Forgive me if there was somebody else helping them out, but two just incredible guys, and they know their stuff. And so they calibrated all the projectors that were in that room. I know last year we had all of the brand new Sonys, the 5000, 6000, and 7000. We had all the new from JVC, the NZ7, the NZ8, and the NZ9. And we had the new Epson LS12000. And so we're able to easily just kind of show the same content on two 150-inch screens, Seymour screens, and you can look at them and see what are the differences. So we'd played a bunch of different things. We'd play a dark scene. Okay, which of these two projectors handles darks better? Which can you, sometimes you'll watch a look at a projector, and and you just lose all the shadow detail. It just looks really, really black, and everything just kind of, you know, mushes together. Versus the other one pulls out those shadow details, and you can really see what's going on in those dark scenes. Then we'll show some bright scenes. How does it handle highlights? They'll go through some motion, you know, something that's kind of panning or moving fast and quickly. Some do better with like motion interpolation than others. So things like that. So Nicholas is actually in the chat. He is the projector room guy. Nicholas, thanks, brother. Let me slide on down here. There you go. So this is Nick, and Andy was a huge help. There you go. So Nick heard his name and he came running. Nick, was there anybody else helping you? Was it just you and Andy? I know last year, man, they're amazing. These guys, like I said, they know their stuff. Nick, he was in town sometime visiting family down here, and he offered to come by and calibrate my projector. And so that was super cool. We made a video on the channel. So he's just got a big heart, and like I said, just a wealth of knowledge. And that's one thing I can really commend about the folks at Mwave, the volunteers that we get, the calibrators, all these guys, man, they just really know their stuff. And so just super grateful for them. He says, just me. Andy was there only on Friday, but he helped me set up, helped him set up so much with him. Appreciate that, man. But they're two great guys, man. They just got big hearts, and they want to help educate, you know, people in this space.
Appreciate you, Nick. Yeah, I remember watching that video. So that's a pretty smart guy, man. Seems like he's really smart. I think he helped do some type of scripting for what's that, the fan and all that stuff.
SOWK. So Tony. So yeah, Tony said, man, I'd love to be able to have like a program that when I'm watching a movie, if there's a scene, let's say in what was it, in Ford versus Ferrari, you know, maybe the scene is inside the car, and then the next scene is, or no, maybe like say they're driving a convertible, but there's one scene where somebody's talking, and then it cuts to driving a car, and there's, you know, obviously you'd feel wind at that. So Nick made a program to kick these fans on and delay them and time delay them so that it hits you at the moment when that comes on the screen, and then it shuts off early because it has to, you know, there's still energy coming at you even when the fans stop. And so just super, super genius, man. So, but yeah, he created that for Tony.
Cool. So this is the stereo integrity room. I'll have more. So this is actually part of my video, the next video. So you guys are seeing this for the first time. Unedited.
Sneak peek.
Yep.
Sneak peek on the
So there's one of the
Hatoraid.
24s. I know, Michael, you probably know a little bit more about some of this stuff. And Kyle, if you're still in the chat, you can jump in there. But
Yeah, I think it's towers and center channels from DIY Sound Group.
yeah.
And then you got the Stereo Integrity 24s with the carbon fiber. I think Nick said they weigh each about 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And you got another 24 on a custom cabinet from Deep Sea Sound. I think that's a 21 sitting next to it. Even the 21 looks small compared to 24.
Yeah.
Those things are beast. Yeah, he's a DIY Sound Group 1299s. That's the model number.
Okay. So it's got some. So that's also Kyle's stuff. He's got the
Yep.
Emotiva RMC 1L, I believe, and an XPA amplifier, and then he's got his Zapiti. So is this a car audio? Is this just the driver for one of the?
So that's just the driver, so people can see. But that right there, that table, that is car audio. So Nick also does car audio, and he's got a 24-inch, I think, in his trunk in an Audi. It's hidden. It's stealth. It's crazy.
So then this is.
Yeah, Kyle said all of them were 24s or 18s. Okay, so they didn't have 21s in there. So that makes more sense.
So then this is what I was saying. I went in the SVS room. I don't remember if this was before or after there was nobody in there, but I didn't actually get to go in there while they were doing
the demos. Yeah, they had the Prime Pinnacles, the Ultra Center. They had, I think, an Epson LS800 projector. So the cool thing about this, this room is they're showing you can get really great sound and get a great Dolby Atmos experience without having to spend massive amounts. You know, they could have brought the Ultra Towers, but they chose to bring something even more affordable. So, you know, where some brands will say, hey, we're going to bring our biggest and baddest and our best. SVS is like, let's bring something that people can afford. Let's bring something and show them that you can still get an amazing sound. So I think they had either a 5.2.4 or maybe a 5 point. I don't think they had 7 bed layer. I think it was 5 bed layer speakers.
So you guys all talk about this in the video too, but my gimbal was acting super janky and I couldn't figure out why. And it just turns
Oh
out
yeah,
I
you
needed
see a
to
wobble there.
rebalance it. So, because I had it in my suitcase and I tightened everything, but
Mhm.
I ended up fixing it. So you'll see a couple of those in the video, but that's GSG, right?
Yes, it's the GSG. I don't know what model it is, but it's dual 18. I'm sorry, no, dual 24s. So Kyle, I believe he actually built those.
Let's see here. I think I set
Yeah,
my
so
camera down. Oh,
Scott
no, there we
says
go.
the SVS room sounded incredible. I had to wait in line for a seat, but made it in. Awesome, man. Glad you got a
Yeah,
chance to
it
experience that.
was the feedback they got for the room was amazing. You
Yeah,
had people actually sitting to wait, lining up because they couldn't
sure.
believe the sound coming out of the room.
Yeah.
It
And
was crazy.
McCoy was at the show. He said everything was powered by the AVR.
AVR,
Again,
no process, just
Mhm.
simple AVR.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyle says Evolution dual 21s and dual 18s.
I had to bump up my ISO so I could. Man,
Yes.
it's
So
when the,
this is a subwoofer comparison.
yeah.
So I think on the left, far left, actually, if you can back it up, Jordan, or unless you do another pan here. So we got just the cabinets. Go ahead and play it. You got the cabinets for the GSG. All right, pause it right there. So the very far left, it's a little small subwoofer. I'm wanting to say that was an ELAC. Then to the right of that, there's like a box leaning up against the front grill pet or grill. That is the new Klipsch RP 1600. The next to that is the 1723. I want to say the S. Is that their model number?
Yeah, they have a
S2.
1723. Yeah,
Yeah, S2. So it's sealed with two, I think, 12-inch side firing. Then there's a Martin Logan. I'm not sure if that's the 1600 model or a different one. To the right of that, I believe, was the JTR. Yeah, the JTR Captivator RS1. That's an 18-inch in a sealed. And then to the right of that was that big monster dual 24-inch sub. Now, what was interesting about that comparison? Did you guys get a chance to sit in that?
I didn't. I only
Yep,
heard the
I
speaker
did.
comparison at the end when we were having barbecue.
Yep. So there's a speaker comparison behind an AT screen on a Lazy Susan.
So I wanted to ask, where in the world did you find that Lazy Susan that big?
So we built it.
That's what I
We
thought.
did it. So Ryan bought one, and he bought a big one that could handle. I mean, it was crazy, like 1,000 pounds or something. So technically, we could do subwoofers on it, but for some reason, this Bob, so the guy that was running the Room EQ room, Bob built that. So super, super cool. And these were just some of the speakers we had. But in the subwoofer comparison, I thought it was pretty interesting. So I actually had a chance to be in there. And so, of course, we had Ryan had black cloth in front of all the subwoofers. And we would just play, or he would play one, and he would just call out a number. He said 1, listen to part of the track, and he would say 5. And you just write notes. What are you hearing? Like, is it clean? Is it muddy? On those really, really low notes, where was it, did it sound weird or distorted? And we tried low volumes and high volumes and different types of content. We played jazz, some kind of like trance music or techno music. And so just trying to get a variety. He also had everybody intentionally move seats, because one thing when you're comparing one subwoofer to another, you can move over 1 foot and it can change, because of the way it's interacting with the room, those room modes, and the peaks and everything. He said Bob the Builder built the Lazy Susan. That's right. So he intentionally had people move, and so they could hear like what, and that was even just an eye-opening experience for some people, because they didn't realize, man, that means if I move my subwoofer 1 foot or 2 foot or 3 foot, it can drastically change and impact how I'm experiencing in my main listening position. And so that's why we've always been an advocate of having multiple subwoofers, 2 or 3 or 4 or even more throughout your room, dialed in, timeline, so that you get a good seat to seat response for each, person in the room. But it was interesting, in the top 3, or the top 2 were the largest subwoofers. So everybody was pretty on board with, they picked the GSG Audio, which had dual 24s, and they picked the JTR RS1, which was an 18-inch sealed. But the third one, that was the people's choice, ended up being the Klipsch RP 1600
Interesting.
SW. So that was pretty cool, man. That was interesting. I was really hopeful for Klipsch, because they haven't had the best speakers in the past, and they know it. So they said, look, we redesigned this thing from the ground up. We made the amps better, we made the drivers better, and we just started from scratch because we know we need to develop a better reputation on our subwoofers. And to see that kind of come out on top was pretty huge for Klipsch. I really wish they would have brought an entire system so that folks could hear what does maybe a reference Premier system with their new reference Premier subs sound like. But maybe we can get them there next year. McCoy said JTR was his favorite. Klipsch RP 1600 SW was his second favorite. Pretty impressive. So pretty awesome.
Yep. So this is the JTR room. I think this is one of my favorites too. I mean, for me, and apparently I missed JTR and Perlisten when they were. I guess that some people were saying that they had them cranked up a little bit more because when I went in there, I mean, it sounded awesome regardless.
Sure.
But I
Yeah,
felt
they were running at reference most of the time. And Jeff said sometimes after the show, some people would ask like, "Hey man, let her rip," and he would bump it up quite a bit and just let them ride, because your ears are going to give out long before his speakers will. And but
play a couple more of these.
there you go. McCoy said he can bring his RF-7.3s next year.
Nice. So
Hopefully McCoy we'll get Klipsch in there.
So I'm not going to play too much of this just in case. Well, it's not.
Oh yeah, definitely don't do Mario. You'll get flagged. It was crazy. I think Homo said he was. Yeah,
I think they got taken down, right?
Did it actually pulled it?
But so this was the TV comparison room. So that was very interesting. I didn't get to sit in there very long to actually hear them talk, but there's a lot of people that came in there who were actually asking questions. And I think, how many TVs did they sell?
How many what?
Mwave? How many TVs did they sell at Mwave? Did they have for you to purchase? Because I know there's a couple people that bought some.
Oh yeah, I mean, some of them bought the ones that are here. Hisense actually gave away one of the TVs that was, I think, it was the bottom left one. I think either bottom left or top left. But they gave that one away to one of our attendees, which was really cool. Like I said, one of those kind of took a dump.
So I think that was the one down in the bottom left, because actually when right before I was filming, it kept shutting off.
Yeah.
And they got it to come back on, but
yeah,
what were you saying,
like
Mike?
A power supply issue or something in it. I don't even remember what brand it was.
I think it was the TCL, the lower TCL.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I got one more video, and I don't know, Ike, if you have anything that you wanted to share.
No, unfortunately, I still have all my videos in S-Log3.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of log,
I was shooting in log.
I'm glad y'all color grade. I don't color grade nothing, man.
So I shoot some stuff in log, but then I have LUTs. So I just drag the LUT over it, and I can adjust it. I can't do it manually. Apparently, Brad, Home Theater Gamer, he does that stuff.
Brad
manually,
does,
so
man.
He's a
genius. Yeah.
But so this was on Saturday. We all went to get some lunch at Joe's. So I think it was like a 10-minute walk, right, Ike?
Yeah, 10 minutes, about 10 minutes walk, couple of walks.
I was like, you know what? Let me get some B-roll while we're outside, and it's ample light, so let me shoot this in log. But we just walked down the street, and so I'm from Texas, and I would proudly rep Texas barbecue. I should say Houston, because I have had barbecue in other places in Texas that's not that good.
Not that good. Gotcha.
But Houston is known like throughout the country for good barbecue. So I was curious because I've heard so many good things about Kansas City barbecue.
Right.
Didn't disappoint, man. I was nice. I still think for me Houston is number one, but Kansas City is definitely number 2 over everything else that I've tried. So
That's not bad being number 2 though.
so yeah. Okay. So I wanted to. There was a comment here. So someone asked, "What is your thoughts on using Home Assistant in your home theater?" Yes, it does take a machine to run in your network, but will work with Harmony. Will it work with Harmony and all assistant and has a dashboard? So I briefly tried Home Assistant, and there was a little bit of a learning curve, so I didn't really mess with it too much. And the only reason why I was doing that was so that I could get some stuff working with HomeKit that doesn't natively work. And actually, it was my Zedu, and then I realized there's a plugin. So I use a Raspberry Pi, and I do Homebridge, and I do HomeKit. So there's some stuff on my channel about on HomeKit and smart homes. I don't really use Home Assistant, but I think you can. There's pretty much a plugin for almost anything with Home Assistant, so I'm sure your Harmony and stuff can get that
Yeah.
working. Okay, so I think that's all the stuff I have. So I guess we can do some questions, some Q&A, if anybody has any. Let me pull this up.
There's quite a few starred up there.
Okay.
Some of them aren't questions; they were just comments. I
Oh
saw.
man, there's 47. I haven't looked at this. I was too busy playing stuff. I looked up and there was none, and then there's 47. So let me see. Perlisten, did we cover this one? I don't think so. Perlisten was amazing, but I have been going back and forth on new speakers for years. I went into their JTR room, and instantly after about 5 minutes of demos, it was over. I will be investing 25K. Man, that must be nice, bro, to be able to do that. That's. I'm excited for you. That sounds like that's gonna be a nice system. Let's see.
I'll start unchecking some of these if I see that we've answered them.
Let's see. Nothing beats Bartle, Michael. Stay the course. I'm not sure. What is that?
He's talking about Bartle Hall. So Evan really likes that space. It is a beautiful space. There's no doubt. So he's like, don't leave. Don't go to a hotel. Don't do another venue. So, but we're looking at some different things because, like I said, for some of the vendors, I mean, what he really liked is they had a theater up front, and then they also had a really big space to showcase their products, which they've never had at a show. So that was definitely beneficial to them. So, but we definitely take all the feedback that we get from the vendors. I'm going to send out a kind of like a survey to the vendors as well as the attendees to say, what'd you like? What didn't you like? Very specific questions, so that we can try to provide the best experience and improve every single year.
So Ivan asked, what barbecue did you try and what was your favorite? So I had Joe's. So as soon as I got off the plane, that was what I ate. I had Joe's at the original at the gas station, and then on Saturday we had Joe's again. I forget, man. I cannot remember the name of that place for the life of me.
I can't remember.
There's one.
So
There's
it's
one
actually
called
called
Jack Stack.
No, it wasn't that. So it was another place. It had a different name, but then it was like a Joe's barbecue.
It was right by
like-
Joe's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they told us 10 times, and I still can't remember it. So I basically had Joe's twice, and
Right.
then who was that made the barbecue for us on Saturday at the
Oh,
VIP?
so that was Ian. Ian made some
Ian.
incredible
That
barbecue.
was good
homemade.
as well. Yeah. So
Yeah, that was our VIP dinner.
I don't really know if I could say my favorite because I had two of the same thing, but
Mhm.
all of it was good. All of it
Yeah.
was amazing. So I'm a fan of their barbecue.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. Louisiana barbecue is the best.
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
tried Louisiana. I'll have to reserve judgment. Specifically Lafayette.
Sure.
I thought Louisiana was known more for their Cajun stuff.
Cajun stuff. Yeah.
Are in-wall speakers in-wall speakers or on-wall speakers better? No other options for living room.
Sure. So you can't do towers, can't do bookshelves. To me, I think it depends on the brand, honestly, because typically in walls are a compromise in most situations. But there are some brands out there that are making some killer in walls. Usually they have their own back box, so they, instead of using your wall as the speaker cabinet, they've designed and they've calculated like what volume it needs and that sort of thing. So, I mean, one that comes to mind that was at the show was Perlisten. I think last year they introduced their in-wall speakers. And as I was talking with Eric, he said, honestly, in walls oftentimes measure better um, than floor standing speakers or bookshelf speakers, because you've got this flat front baffle wall, and so there's nothing on that front wall that can interact. All the sound is leaving that, and it never touches it. So he said, oftentimes that's an ideal setup, is when you have an in wall, a quality in wall, matched with, like your LCR. It works great. So it really just depends on the speakers you're considering. So not all are created equal. I guess that's the easiest way
Yeah,
to
and
say
I
it.
mean, my home theater is complete in walls, right?
Mhm.
And I actually went the in wall route and I was actually skeptical, thinking, you know what, maybe in a year or two I'll go back to floor standing speakers, but I don't see me doing that anytime soon.
Yeah,
Except obviously if a company sends me a complete set, but
right.
they're good.
Yeah,
And if you have young kids, you don't have to worry about them knocking your
exactly.
speakers,
They don't even know where
poking
the
the
speakers are coming
drivers.
from.
Yeah, so it has its benefits, but like Michael said, get a good speaker.
Yeah,
If you have a good speaker, you can make it work. If you can get a great one, even better.
yeah. And Kyle even says the same thing. I'm not an expert in measurements, but technically in walls are
Hmm,
supposed to measure better, and that's what I've heard as well.
that's interesting. So I'm gonna put you on the spot, Michael.
Oh,
Do
look at
you
there.
do you think in the future or future iterations of Mwave, maybe you'll have like maybe some fake walls or some sheetrock with some in walls or some on walls or anything like that? You guys talked about that?
No, we haven't. I mean, anything's possible with Wave. We're still learning and growing and really just experimenting. Um, I literally saw something um, today, and I sent it to Ryan. Let me I'll pull it up because it fits with what we're talking about. I saw it. It says, "Never be afraid to try something new. Remember, amateurs built the Ark, professionals built the Titanic."
Yep.
So we're trying some things
Nice.
new, and so we're taking a risk. We're taking a almost like a leap of faith, saying, "Okay, we don't know how this is going to work out because nobody's ever done it." But we're willing to get some great people behind us, great people along the side of us to try to make this thing happen. And let's just have some fun in the process, Home theater and shows shouldn't be, very stoic. I mean, I think you should be able to come and laugh and, like I said, hug people and, um, go out to dinner with each other and just hang out and enjoy each other's company and just have a good time doing so. So, look who just dropped in the chat, man.
What's going
Good to
on,
see you,
Nick?
Nick.
He's gonna be in my next video as well.
Nice, man.
So yeah,
So,
super super cool dude.
Nick called me on the way to, um, Ryan was driving me to the hotel. I'm sorry, to the airport. And he called me and said, "Man, I just want to share with you, like, we had a fantastic time. Like, this was great." And I know he had some reservations. A couple of shows he's been to, they asked him to turn it down. And that's pretty hard when you got big subwoofers. Like, you're like, really, dude? It's not like he's cranking them all day, the whole time wide open. But from time to time, you get a new group in, you want to show them what, they're capable of. And so we asked the venue and said, "Hey, look, are there any regulations that you have or any concerns for noise?" And they said, "Nope, you're down at the end of the hall. No big deal." We called again because Nick was like, "Hey, look, I don't want to come and unless we can guarantee this." So we called them again. They guaranteed it. So just to make sure, Ryan emails them to get it in writing. Nope, we're not gonna. And they didn't. They didn't bother us. And so Nick was super super happy. We did see a lot of drywall dust on the floor
I
in
was
his
gonna
room.
say that. So
Yeah.
yeah, they might change that because when I went in there, I was talking to Kyle, and he was like, "Yeah, so we've actually had some drywall fall from the top." And I thought he was joking, but no,
Yeah.
he was serious. Like they were actually cracking the drywall up, like up in the on the left side, I believe, up in there in the corner.
Yeah.
Some of it was falling, so that's pretty cool that you can say that.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
real
You're
quick,
gonna have to do a structural review of that
right?
room.
Hmm.
So County Road Ice House Joe's. That's where we ate at when we were walking. I don't know that County Road is the part that I always forget.
Yeah, that's why I can't remember the name. Look at how long that thing is.
Right. That's
County
funny.
Road
I wouldn't
Ice
remember that
House.
either.
Yeah, and actually, I think we brought some food back from for you from there on Saturday. That's where it was from, Michael.
Oh, really? So that was
Yeah,
where it was?
yeah.
Yeah, that was super cool. Richard, he said, "Hey, man, you want something to eat?" I'm like, "I would love something to eat because I've just been running ragged." And, most of the time you just don't stop. And so that's another improvement that we want to do next year is that ideally we'd love to have a hospitality room that content creators can go in and get something to snack on and something to eat, and even our vendors, because the vendors are being with the people the whole day. They can't just say, we're going to cut out for lunch. We're going to lock the door,
Right.
put a sign on the door, out for lunch. They're there all day. And so, again, that's a learning process for us. I just didn't have the ability or the manpower to be able to kind of put that together and keep that up. So my wife says, look, I want to come next year and I'll help you with registration, because that was another challenge too. Because I think on Saturday I was there. Was it Saturday or Sunday? I think Saturday. I was there from, no, it must have been Sunday, 9 a.m. when we opened until 1 p.m. taking new registrants. We had 50 people register probably within 2 weeks of Mwave. So I'd already ordered badges for everybody because they had to have those printed. And so any new ones, we had to manually give those. So, but yeah.
We're giving off pens. Like, there goes a pen. That's your ID.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Security came up to the front desk and they're like, sir, we've got some people walking around here. They say they're with your show, but they don't have a lanyard.
Yeah.
They need to have, I'm like, I'm sorry, we ran out. People, they just kept buying tickets. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. Croson said Scott manned the helm while you guys left. We had to get some content, because I told all the brands, look, I'll come by your room. I'll make some content for you. So I'll go ahead and do that one. I'll tell you.
Oh, and I was going to say, so Nick says, I can neither confirm nor deny that there was drywall damage in our room. Pleading the fifth.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyle says we were just trying to find the weaknesses in the room. Finster, I actually sent your message. You had messaged me on Patreon, and I reached out to Nick, and so he's been out of the office. So he said he'll get back with you. So super cool that you reached out to Stereo Integrity. So he's looking for some information. Sounds like he's ready to upgrade.
So Jeff Beagley says, I have joists in new house. Any recommendations for back boxes for Atmos speakers? Clips enclosures don't fit. Should I just DIY? I unfortunately don't really know anything about back boxes. I don't know if
Yeah.
Iker.
A lot of companies don't make those.
I think the only ones that I may have seen are OSDs. I think OSD may have some insealing that have, because I think I recall looking into them at some point.
Right.
I can attest to how good they are, though. But I think they should have.
Okay, I'm trying to see if there's anything here that we missed. Let me go back to starred.
How many do you show that are starred on your end?
38.
Okay. Sometimes StreamYard will kind of glitch out, and it'll show different on different people's.
Okay.
So.
Well, it looks like I think that's everything.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna look through these real quick. Brian said he wanted to thank all the vendors. They did. They were super, super great. They learned so much. They're there for you guys. They want to, and that's one thing that's nice about having a smaller show, is you have a bigger opportunity to spend with content creators, with vendors, and each other.
And I know we were talking earlier. So what we've got a lot of comments from the consumer, but what was the consensus for the vendors? Because I know you said a lot of people surprised you that they're going to be back next year.
Yes. So the great thing is there were a couple vendors I just wasn't sure, because I didn't know them personally. First time ever meeting them, and you just don't know. Everybody has a different personality. I'm over the top. I like to say I'm the hype man at Mwave. I'm going around high-fiving people and just having a great time. And some people are just kind of more serious. And so I wasn't sure, but I received an email from one of the brands that, again, I just didn't know if they had a good time, if they had a good turnout, if they had a good response. And he basically said, look, Michael, he said, we had some people come through that were serious buyers. Like, these aren't just not tire kickers. What's the other word? Like window shoppers. Like, they came there to figure out what they want for their system. And I shared with them, that's exactly who's coming to Mwave. A lot of our attendees are building home theaters. They're at the beginning stages of building it. And they have an opportunity to see this compared to this. And they have an opportunity to hear this speaker system and then go to another room and hear that speaker system to figure out what's going to work best for them, their ears, and their budget. A lot of you say, man, I've never, nobody around me has theater seats. You can only order them online. Well, guess what? We had row 1 and we had Valencia. So you could sit in different models and sit they fit for your needs and your budget. Same thing with certain speakers, they only sell them online, like Arundel. So they don't have a store you can go in. You can't go to Best Buy and hear them. So we bring them to the show to give you that opportunity. So Abe, yeah, we actually did have a room correction comparison. So Bob headed that up, and I had, let me see if I can. Well,
I have a brief.
I'll probably close that window
in my video about that too.
Okay. Yeah, so we had we actually bought 9, is it 7 or 9 of the F200 towers, and then we had trusses in there. So we had a Dolby Atmos setup, had 4 JTR speakers up front, and we used different. I didn't get a chance to get in there and hear that, but Bob set up different room correction software. He brought his Lingdorf processor, which I think ended up being one of the fan favorites from the group. They probably had Odyssey. I know they had Dirac. Treatment from Dirac. And so they were able to sit down and kind of switch back and forth between certain things. This year we made sure we level matched everything. So supposedly it was really good. I just didn't get a chance to pop in there. So that was actually in the room 14. So it was the last room on the left when you go down the hallway. Youth Man, are you coming to Audio Advice Live this year? Yes, I am. So I'll be there. Those guys put on an incredible show as well. They're way bigger than us. Like their goal this year is 2,000 attendees. So they rent out an entire hotel. There's a lot of 2-channel there, and there's some home theater stuff, but supposedly they're going bigger and better. So I'm excited about that. They do a panel, like a bunch of panel discussions. I'm on one of those. A lot of other content creators are going to be on those as well. Industry leaders that are talking about just different aspects of both home theater, 2-channel. I think they had a vinyl kind of a panel discussion. So they do some really, really great stuff there. I love them. I love their heart. So yeah, so I'll be there. And I think, Jordan, you said you're going to be there?
So no, they actually reached out to me a couple of days ago and invited me, but I've already got some other stuff planned. So I have to kind of juggle my full-time job, and then I'm already going to Cedia, so I kind of have to, can't be greedy with the vacation. 100%. But I think Ike, you're going, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be at Audio Advice.
Awesome. It's a great. You didn't go last year, did you, Ike?
No, this will be my first time at Audio.
I'll be honest, you're really going to enjoy it, and we'll have some fun. We'll probably do another live stream with the content creators. That was a blast last year, so we'll have some fun for sure.
Another question.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all planning for Mwave 2024?
Are we planning for it? We started planning literally as we were driving home. Ryan and I have already had 2 or 3 meetings while I was up there. We also went and visited 3 other venues. So yeah, we're already on it. So 100%, it's already in the works, because again, we know as this thing grows, it's going to take and require more planning. You can't just show up a week before this and go, oh yeah, we're going to throw on a cool event, because we know if you get there and you don't have a good time, and if it's not a good experience for you, you're not going to come back. You're not going to tell anybody. You're not going to share it on your social. So we want to make sure that we provide something with excellence, but we also are trying to create something that we wish we had when we were building our home theaters. 17 years ago when I was building mine, I had, some online forums to go to, and there's nothing wrong with forums, but there was no place I could go to physically hear this. So, but yeah, absolutely. Paul says he needs a bigger vehicle to entertain all my new friends during the Mwave, and McCoy says Mwave party van. I love it. That's awesome. So Blue Bear says, where will Mwave 2024 be again? We're looking at venues. The biggest thing is the rooms were just massive. So that sometimes it's Salk is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, Tony. Nick says, thanks again, guys. We had a blast.
And there was another question for you, Michael.
Hello, Michael. Any plans to include RBH sound and our RSL next year, especially given all of their new products? So honestly, we're open to any vendor being there because we realize that every brand offers something to consumers. And so we want to showcase expensive stuff and high-end stuff. We want to showcase the middle, like mid-tier, but we also want to showcase some budget. Man, I'd love to see brands like Ike. He's got Monoprice in there. I would love to see Monoprice there and show some really, really affordable. I mean, they have speakers that are $200 a piece. I mean, it doesn't get any cheaper than that. And so what does that sound like? And so I would love to be able to see that. But I'd love to see RBH and RSL, whoever wants to come. I mean, we're an open company. So if they want to, and here's the other thing, if you're interested in them being there, maybe it's your favorite brand, reach out to them on their social. Hit them up on Twitter, hit them up on Facebook or Instagram, DM them, email them, whatever. Say, hey, I just came back from Mwave. It was a blast. Here's what I experienced, and we would love to see you there. And that's another way that we can get more brands on board.
And by the way,
Evan?
don't sleep on Monoprice because the same
Yeah.
guy who
Yep.
did Perlisten, Arendal,
That is right.
Dan Romer, he also did Monoprice. Now, I haven't heard them personally, but everyone that I know that has them absolutely loves them and raves about them.
Yeah, he designed. The only difference there is with Monoprice, Hobie has a really small budget or a much smaller budget. So he says, hey, Dan, I've got, let's just say, I've got $1,500 that we need to try to meet for this product. Maybe it's a subwoofer. I need you to design one. Here's what I really want to reach. Maybe he wants to hit down to 17 hertz. Maybe he wants so much output. And then Dan does his magic to try to make that happen. Evan says, I think we'll all be there bigger and better next year. 100%, man.
Did you lose your phone last year?
Who?
No. Says that please don't lose your phone like you did last year.
Bobby, remind me, because I've slept since then. I don't really remember losing it, but if I did, I found it. Here's a good question. It says, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
Mike Larry says, speaking of community, Michael, why have you stopped being active on Instagram? The reality is I've never really been active on Instagram. I posted a few. Here's the hard thing, Mike, is there are so many platforms right now. We've got Instagram, and each one of those platforms has multiple types of content. You know, over here you got Instagram for uploading videos and stories. You've got the shorts, you've got stories, you've got TikTok, and it's really difficult to do all of them. So I'm primarily YouTube, do a little bit of TikTok just to see, but yeah, that's it's just challenging to do that. So I don't take as many photos as I do, and I don't do a lot of short videos. So I just haven't really done that. Oh, look here, man. Mia says we're rare, but we exist. Earlier, talking about the ladies. I appreciate you, Mia. So it was cool seeing a lot of couples there this year, and I saw some kids there. So that was really, really cool. I'm looking at see if there's any other.
So yeah, someone said
that one.
I heard Ike has the T6 versions. That's what I was demoing at my place.
Yeah, Paul's Hope Theater is amazing. It's pretty impressive. He has it really dialed in. I was surprised when I walked in there and it was playing. Like, okay.
Yeah, Chris Contreras says, Lord willing, I will be at Mwave next year. Haven't been able to make it the last 2 years.
Man, that's great. We'd love to have you, man. So the best way to know about, what the details are on Mwave is there's a couple ways. So I always share on the Mwave newsletter. You can go to midwestavexperience.com, click on newsletter, and just subscribe to it. I promise I won't spam you. Probably don't even send one a week. When we get close to Mwave, that's when I'm kind of hitting it pretty hard, letting you know, every time a brand comes on board and says, hey, we're going to be there at Mwave, then I'll let you know those types of things. So that's a good way to stay in touch. There's also, of course, my channel. I always promote through the community tab as well as actual videos. And then there's a Discord server for Mwave. And again, you can get to that on the website as well.
Yeah, so and real quick, since we were talking about social before I forget. So I'm on Instagram. I believe Ike is also on Instagram. I have some. I didn't get any video with my camera of the barbecue, but I did take some video with my phone
I
of
have
me eating
photos of
some.
barbecue.
You do?
Oh yeah,
Oh
I got a
yes.
little bit of video, not much.
Yeah. So go check that out if you want to see my reaction to eating Kansas City barbecue for
Oh
the
yeah, I
first
saw
time.
your video. Yep.
So yeah, it was good. And then I don't know if anybody's using Threads very much, but I'm on there. I
Um,
know Ike is on there. I don't know if Michael's on there yet.
I am. I added it, but I posted a
Yeah,
couple. I
I have
honestly I don't
one
have any.
post and that's it.
Yeah,
So,
It's
keeping
basically
up
just a
with.
copy as a copy of Twitter, but I feel like
Yeah,
it's better.
yeah. So
yeah, I keep forgetting that it's even there because it's
that's
like
the
you know,
thing.
Instagram. It's like,
I,
why do I have to now go to Threads right
I
there?
know. See, that's
Skip.
the issue. It's like there's so many of these. I mean, and then yeah, it's just challenging to be honest with you. Tristan, appreciate you, buddy.
So McCoy says my wife loved the Kong versus Godzilla demo in the SVS room. So another couple was there.
There you go.
Let's see, Eric says I'm in my third iteration of my theater room and wanted to find new speakers, so that is exactly why I came to hear Perlisten and
Yeah,
JTR. So right there,
nice.
that. And then looks like someone says, "What
hmm
about the Sony GTZ 380 projector? Can you guys share some details?"
So I posted a video the very last day. I'm getting ready. So that would have been, is that this morning? No, last night. So yesterday, we're getting ready to head to the airport, and FedEx gives us a call and says, "Hey, look, I'm at the front of your neighborhood. I can't bring this truck in here. I'm here to pick up a package. I need you to bring it to me." Well, guess what it is? It's the GTZ 380. So
Yeah.
FedEx, back up a couple days before that, we were supposed to have that at the show so that you guys could see. So this is, I think, $110,000 projector, Sony's like flagship. I believe it's their flagship. Beautiful projector. We had it at Mwave last year, so they were going to ship it. It was supposed to be guaranteed 10 a.m. on such and such date. Well, it came a couple days later. So Mwave is done. It arrives. Me and Ryan are gone, and his wife they got the little ring thing, so they open up the garage to let somebody drop off a package. FedEx slides in with them, drops off $100-something-thousand projector in his garage, does not get a signature, and we're like,
Oh
you gotta be
no.
kidding me. So we come home and we see this big package, and we're like, what the heck is that? Where did that come from? And sure enough, it was, FedEx dropped. No, it wasn't Sony. It was FedEx. Sony did their job. They guaranteed it. They paid the extra. So it wasn't Sony that messed up. It was FedEx. But so I've got a YouTube short. I'm like, let me get one more video before I head back on a plane. And it's me and Ryan walking down his neighborhood, pulling a $100,000 projector on a pallet jack. So it's pretty funny.
So we'll take one more because we're coming up on 2 hours. I know we all
Yeah,
gotta
man.
get to work tomorrow, and I know Youth Man, he's got to get started. So it's what 10?
I
It's
gotta
10:30 for you.
it is, yeah, it's 10:30. So I'm gonna
Okay,
grab a
so
little snack and then I'm
we'll
gonna
take
be
one
editing
more,
for you guys.
one more question. Any thoughts on Dirac live active room treatment? I'll let you guys answer that if you want to.
I haven't heard it yet. Well, I guess technically I might have. I just didn't know I was hearing art. You know, I didn't get into the room correction to hear. How does it sound with and without it? So
Same,
Andrew
me
said
either.
he was there. He said he was in the room EQ room. I had him do Dirac versus Dirac art. Art made a big difference. I also had picked Dirac art over everything in the blind test. So that's
Wow,
super cool to know.
that's interesting to know.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm curious because I know it's exclusive until I think September,
Yeah,
but
September, October. I think Storm has a exclusive rights on
right.
that, and then it'll be open up to other companies.
Yeah, and I'm wondering like because I am supposed to be getting an RMC one, and I think it's the RMC one plus, and that
Okay.
has Dirac on it. So I'm wondering
Mhm.
if like something like that or
Mhm.
Marantz or something, if they're gonna update
Sure.
that later to where you could get that. So that way, we can get in there and test it ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
It's
I
funny.
appreciate you guys coming on the live stream. This was absolutely
Yeah, man.
fun. We had
Yeah,
a
enjoyed it.
blast at Mwave. Michael, thank you for and
Appreciate
Ryan
it.
for putting that together. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next year. This is probably one of my favorite shows that that I've been to. So I don't know if you guys have any closing comments that you want to say before we sign off.
Yeah, I'll just go. I mean, Mwave was great. Michael, you guys did a fantastic job. I'm looking forward to, being there next year and many more years to come. And, it was really great. And thank you for all the love that you put towards community. I'm pretty sure a lot of the guys in the chat agree with that, that Michael loves what we do for
Yeah.
this community and continue to do it. And also, yeah, I have a lot of content and footage that I'm hoping to get through and slap on some lots in them and post them to the channel. So go show my channel some love. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers, so
Yeah, let's do it.
hopefully I can get there soon.
So we still have 118 people in the chat on the
Wow,
stream.
that's awesome.
So do us a favor. I've got a link, I know, down to Jordan's channel. Also got a channel or a link down in the description to Ike's channel. I would love for you guys to show them some love, subscribe to them. We've got a lot of content creators that are trying to really just impact this community and provide content that you guys would enjoy, that would be educational and helpful and beneficial. So this is, I know for me, it's hitting even that first 1,000 is like, oh my gosh, it took me so long. It took me 4 years to hit 1,000 subscribers, but that was because I was halfway into it. I'd throw a video up and then 6 months later I'd do another one and then 2 months later. So I wasn't real consistent. But once I started making, he said, drop the link. I'll drop the link for you. All right. Appreciate that. So let's go to Hatoraid Cowboy Cinema. All right. Let me click Jordan. So we'll drop this in the chat.
Yeah,
I'd love for you guys
everybody.
to, yeah, man, I'd love for you to show these guys some love. There's Haterade Cowboy. And Jordan, I tell you what, man, I've got to commend you because you were at all the shows. It took me probably 2 years before I went to the first show. And I think out of the gate, you were at Cedia and you're here and you're there. And I'm like, who is this guy? Who's this Haterade Cowboy Cinema, man? He's buff. He's ripped. He's super kind. He's humble. He loves to laugh, loves this. I mean, I'm looking at your picture now on your YouTube channel. You love smiling, man. You're just a joy to be around.
Appreciate
I truly
that,
consider you a friend. And like I said, man, if there's anything I can do on my end to help you out, I would love to do that. He said, Jordan trying to get guns big like Life of Bliss.
That is 100%
I love it.
true. I'm trying to keep up with Kyle.
I love it. Easy HT.
Good luck with that. It's gonna take you a while. Kyle is
Yep.
B.
Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody. Ike,
Thanks, brother.
Michael, Youthman, everyone that was there. Kyle, Brad. I mean, it truly is an awesome niche that we're in, where everyone is so passionate. Sometimes people can be a little bit too passionate. I think that's like the 1%, but
Sure.
we're all passionate about this, and I know I have a small channel right now, small channel count, but I'm just happy to be on this ride with everybody, and I appreciate every single person that came up to me and said hello and said that they watch my videos and that they appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. All of that stuff counts.
Nice. Ivan said he subscribed to both. Appreciate you, Ivan, man. Like I said, Ivan, you were just Ivan's got a channel too, man.
Yep.
So
go check that out as well.
What's weird? I don't even know. Oop, what did I just hit? I can put you in timeout, Ivan. It doesn't let me. Used to, you could click on somebody's screen name and go to it.
Uh-oh, did we lose?
Here it is.
Yeah, I think my camera for some reason just dropped. Not sure why.
Let me see.
That's fine. It's okay. I don't.
Kyle's getting some love in the chat.
Man. All right. So I'm gonna drop. Man, I'm just throwing some people your way, man. This is Ivan. He's been in the chat. Like I said, he took some behind the scenes video for me. Super grateful to him. I love I love helping people out. I really, really do. I think this is just one of the most amazing community to be in. It's not about competition. It's not about, who can get to the top. It's like, how can we get there together? How can we bring and elevate each other? And that's what I love about like all the content creators that were there at Mwave, and there's a true friendship. You know, it was one of those things that just the camaraderie there, just super super cool, man. So definitely appreciate you guys. Like I said, Scott, he was here earlier. He's got a great channel. His stuff's funny as crap, dude.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
It's different. I'll be honest. It's straight up different when I watch some of his videos. And oh, here we go. I'm gonna go back.
It looks, I guess Ike got kicked off, but
I'm guessing his camera died, so he might have been using.
Okay.
He might have been using the battery instead of the And if I missed your channel, guys, forgive me.
Specifically got me a dummy battery because that happened to me on one of my live streams, and I had to go do it. So having a dummy battery is awesome because you don't have to worry about it. You just plug it in.
Exactly. That's what I'm using. I'm trying to find real quick. Bro, where are you at? Where's your channel? Scott.
That's awesome, Mikey. Mikey says, I sub to everyone. I didn't even know half of the people I was talking to were content creators. Everyone was so humble and personable.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's not about. Oh yeah, I'm telling you right now, you need to go check this out. Let me see if I can copy this. Let's see if it'll work this way. Paste. Nope, it did not work that way. All right, so let me copy this long URL. Scott is with SC Audio. He's got 22 videos, but he did some for Mwave leading up to it. Pretty Scott, funny. You had me cracking up, bro. So I'll drop that in the chat as well. So go show him some love. But yeah, he was there. We just had a blast, man. I'm ready to do it again. We're already making plans for Mwave 2024. Hope you guys can make it, make plans. As soon as we have information on it, as far as dates and locations, we'll drop that on my channel. I'll share it with the other content creators. I'd love to have you guys back again because, like I said, I really, really want to promote the community, you know, and that's really what this is about. So Chris says it's great to be a part of a close community. I always look forward to seeing new content. Absolutely, man.
Yep. So
Paul says, Tristan says, if Paul says someone's funny, they must be because Paul has a great sense of humor for real. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. So stay tuned, guys. There's going to be, obviously, Michael said he's got a bunch of videos coming up. He's probably going to be posting them, try to every day, you said?
I'm going to try. So like tonight, I got a 5-hour energy drink, man. I need to. I got.
Go 2 hours.
I'll buzz this out, man.
I'm working from home tomorrow, so. Michael,
there we go.
That's funny. Michael, you were the best. Such a great event for YouTube AV content creators. Yeah,
dude,
definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, Tristan.
When Michael reached out to me, I was like, yeah. When Michael reached out to me, I was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, but I was like, I want to try to go to this because this is something else that's different that hasn't been done before. Sure. I want to be a part of it. I want to bring you guys some content, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the vlog style content. The video's doing really, really good. So I guess everybody likes it. So
yeah.
But yeah, I will have part 2 of the vlog. It's actually a lot longer. I didn't realize I had so much content. It's about 27 minutes. So I think you guys are going to enjoy that one better than the first one. That's going to drop on Sunday. And then I will have a testimonial video that I shot. Got some people at the Mwave, and I got some of their testimonials. So I'll be making a video with that.
Yeah,
so
me too.
Look forward to that. Let's see.
It's funny, some of the comments. I'm doing shots with the Celsius. He knows I like Celsius. So great stuff. Thanks for Mwave and all the content. Still learning. And you guys are down to earth. And I think that's key too, man, is that I know we all have been along our journey. I'm just at maybe a different point. I'm not the smartest in the room, hardly ever. But what I know, I like to share. And I know Jordan's heart, he does the same with his channel. But the reality is we don't look at it as we're the expert. I know I don't. No. I've got a lot to learn. There's guys like Nick in the chat and Tony and a lot of these other guys. They know way more than I do. Even Croson, man, as hard as it is to believe that, he knows a lot more about a lot of stuff than I do. But I don't have to know everything, I'm just trying to share my journey, trying to create an event that will be a benefit to you, provide you with some great experiences that you're just not going to get anywhere else. And let's have some fun doing it. Gross. I'm like, yep, that's me. But you are, Paul. I appreciate you, man. We've been friends for a long time. But yeah, man, I'm
Yeah.
excited for where Mwave's going. I'm grateful to be
Such a
such a low bar.
cheap shots.
Yeah. No, he's saying like the bar is low, you know,
Oh,
for
oh,
him.
I got you.
Yeah, he's talking about him.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we just, and I'm sure Michael will attest to this, but you know, they somebody had talked about staying humble. I don't forget where I come from, man. Like I definitely
Yes.
wouldn't be here without Michael's help. I mean, I met him at Cedia
Yeah.
last year. Man, it's almost been a
Yeah,
year
we
already.
hung out for a while, you know.
Yeah, I followed him. That was actually the first time I met all of them, Michael,
Sure.
Brad, and Ike, and you know they let me tag along. So
Yeah.
you know, Chris, that home theater dude, he's helped me a lot, and other people. You know, I've gotten some opportunities now to do stuff that I literally never would have thought that I
Absolutely.
would be able to do, and I feel very thankful because I'm
Yes.
doing things at a very small channel that most people don't get to do until they get further along.
100%.
So 100% am thankful to every single person that
Yeah.
is on the live stream now, and everybody that if you watch a video, if you comment, if you hit the like button,
Yep.
I am 100% thankful because
Yeah.
that helps. It may not seem
Absolutely.
like much, but it does. It helps the algorithm. It helps, you know, everyone else that is looking at videos and looking for content creators and stuff like that. So,
Sure.
Scott,
Immense level.
Michael knows how to make people feel comfortable within seconds of meeting them. That's awesome. And let me see.
Oh, that's cool.
Reviews and
Appreciate it,
access to
man.
equipment helps. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Tyler.
Easy home theater tech. What? This is a change of events.
Oh, Texas Power got him, so his power went out.
Oh man, that
That
sucks.
stinks, man.
Well,
Hey,
appreciate you,
appreciate.
Ike.
Yeah, Ike's good, man. He's a good dude.
Good dude.
Appreciate it, Tyler.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and end it there. Again, thank you to everybody. Go subscribe to Ike's channel, my channel, please, if you're not already. Youth Band, which everyone's probably here is already subscribed to, but we greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate you,
100%.
Michael, for coming on tonight.
Absolutely, man. So hopefully I'm driving some traffic to you guys. And again, I mean, I want to lift up the community. It's not about me seeing if I can be better and get more subscribers. I don't care about that, you know. I'm care about the community. I want to build you guys up. And so if there's anything I can do for you, Jordan, like I said, man, just call me. You got my number.
Yep. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Have a great one, guys.